Check 1, 2.
Well, hello there, boyfriend. How are you this fine day?
I'm really good.
Is it working?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's not touch shit.
I'm afraid to ask, but I have a great question.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so disturbed right now.
So here on Afraid to Ask, we have a question coming in this is from Jamie from Fairbanks, Alaska.
Oh my God.
And
very original.
And his question is...
I'm not sleep deprived right now.
Well, what worries me... So, what... I feel like you probably know a lot of this, but one of the fears I have, and this is a common fear in men, I am telling you, I have heard more men talk about this than any other kind of condition. It is, it's having to pee all the time.
Oh.
You didn't know that was?
I didn't think that was the one that you were going to hit me with.
The one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So...
What's the question?
Well, the question is,
statement.
The question kind of goes to like, am I going to die? What's wrong with me? Because like, I have this thing happen where sometimes, this happened with you once, it was super embarrassing, but like I've been on an airplane where I go pee, and I sit back down and immediately have to pee. Immediately have to pee again. And one time with you, I guess it's kind of a funny story, but one time with you, I was in the car with you and I said, wow, I really have to go. And for me to even say to you, is there any way we could pull over and go to the bathroom? That kind of took a lot for me. We hadn't been dating that long. And I said, could you? And you go, yeah. And we go somewhere and I go to the bathroom. I get back in the car. I immediately have to go to the bathroom again. And then it becomes urgent. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? I just went to the bathroom. And so I said to you, I'm really sorry. Like, I gotta like pee again. And I remember you looked at me and you were in I thought there might be a joke like, oh, you got to pee all the time. And you looked at me and you looked concerned.
Well, as sarcastic as I am with stuff like that, I go back to the doctor brain. So I worried about all of the stuff that could be contributing to why you were having that symptomatology. Yeah,
and it was right away. Like I peed and then sat down and had to pee again. And I remember looking at you, and that almost made me a little worried because I could tell like there was some concern, like, oh shit, is this? And so I think guys they always think like, oh, it's the prostate. Is that my first thing that I want to check out if I have to pee all the time?
I don't know why men think that their prostate is like God's gift to the earth / the first thing that's going to kill them, and it matters more than any other organ in their body. Like you have one heart, you have one liver, you have one pancreas. Jesus, why do you have to have a prostate? That's the biggest concern. The reason it bothers me is because...
You find this from a lot of men come in and it's always like the prostate thing?
Yeah, because they're concerned about like how it's going to affect their sex life or it's going to make, in all honesty, this is what bothers me. Mm-hmm. I think that they worry they will be less manly without it.
So I got to stop you for a second. As a person that's trying to follow, I misunderstood when you first started talking, and I thought you were saying, I immediately went prostate cancer. I have to pee a lot when I have prostate cancer, but then I think you're going to set like having a sexual problem. Is that also related to like stamina or erections or something like that? Or you're saying?
I mean, in honesty, it's not. Like if you remove a prostate, you can have
You can
sex
remove a prostate?
all the time. It's called a TURP, transurethral resection of the prostate, TURP. And they go through the urethra. That's going to make you cringe.
That's the way I would go. Unless there was traffic. And you would...
I'm so glad that we weren't dating in residency. I would have fucking failed. So anyway, you remove prostates all the time. You don't need it.
I didn't know you could just not have a prostate.
It's a non-essential organ.
What? Well, why? What's that?
It's like your appendix. You don't have to have it. You don't need it. Gallbladder. Bye.
Nipples?
See you later.
Male nipples?
Male nipples are just like Christmas tree ornaments. Nobody needs them.
Fascinating. I had no idea that you didn't need a prostate.
No, you don't. So it basically helps with, I'm going to just like keep it very simple.
Yeah, for me.
You have a lot of different organs that help with secretions to balance out the pH so that sperm can survive in the vagina to make you more fertile.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry,
Why was that?
That was one of the things where my primal brain made that noise, like retroactive jealousy.
You are proving my point.
Okay. I'm sincerely sorry. I'll let you continue.
You distract.
You were saying...
Yeah, I know, but I'm still like seeing you fist pump over fucking having sperm maturation and successful. Motility. Okay, so go ahead, redirect me because now I am completely
Okay,
lost
so
on you.
well, I guess
Your internal organs. You can remove a prostate.
You can remove a prostate.
Won't die,
You
and
won't
it
die.
won't affect your sex life. It won't ejaculate technically less or more or different or have a bad orgasm. In general, when you have that removed, you're fine.
I've
But
never
what I
had a
don't
bad
like,
orgasm.
no man has ever. Man.
Well,
has
yes,
ever.
I have.
Okay.
Sorry, but
Why
I
are you
did have a
looking at
bad.
me?
I did have a bad orgasm once. No, it's like if you orgasm, and then you get interrupted or something.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
That's different though.
Waste of an orgasm. And as a
Same.
guy,
Same.
I'll meet you here tomorrow. That's what you have to say.
Well, it's the same thing with women.
No, I mean you could say in 10 minutes I'll try this again.
2 minutes, but
That's what I mean by the.
that's fair.
2 minutes.
Well, anyway, the point is, what I don't like is I feel like a lot of men are worried about their prostate because they think it will make them less masculine if they lose it or they have issues with it. So they don't tell me that they're having symptoms because they're scared, which if we caught early, we could fix, repair before anything spreads or changes into something worse. But it's society making them feel not masculine enough because they're losing an organ that really doesn't make a huge difference,
Unnecessary
especially for
organ.
their female partners.
I'll be completely honest with you. When I said prostate, I've never even heard of a prostate being related to anything like being less manly. I had only heard I might pee a lot. If I let someone look at it, I might have cancer. I never thought of it as like a like something to do with. I didn't know that.
Well, because you brought up the peeing. So your prostate, if it's enlarged, so BPH, benign prostatic hypertrophy essentially, or hyperplasia. So it just gets bigger. It swells, it compresses on your organs, and it makes it hard to pee.
So is
You
that
have retention, right? So you pee a little bit, but you pee a lot. So when you say
you pee often? You mean you pee a little bit, but you pee a lot? Meaning you pee often.
a little amount,
Gotcha.
a frequent duration, because you're pushing,
Yeah.
and also the frequency in general. You pee every hour because you can't get it out, but you still feel like after you peed, you have to pee again.
Every hour. I wish.
Sorry, I really did a bad job explaining that.
No, you didn't. I knew exactly what you meant. I just wanted to clarify. You did a great job. So are you saying maybe if I got to pee all the time, this thing's pushing on that thing, it's annoying, but I don't have cancer necessarily, but shouldn't I probably go get a little prostate exam?
Well, there's a lot of other things that can cause urinary frequency. And the first thing I thought of was diabetes mellitus or diabetes insipidus.
With me?
Yeah. You have a great diet, but you could still have diabetes. It basically pulls all the sugar. It can go glucosuria, so you get sugar in your pee, crazy as that is, and you pee a lot more. So whenever I have someone come in and say, I'm peeing a lot more than I should, the first thing I check is a sugar test to see if they have diabetes. If it's a man, then I automatically at that same visit will evaluate their prostate. And there's a few other things too. But yeah, I mean, you have to rule out the scary stuff first, right?
Yeah, you know what's funny?
What?
So that day, I mean, there was nowhere to use the restroom, and we were not in a good spot to stop.
Oh, are you talking when we were
Yeah, I have to go back to the end of the story, which is, and I can't, I'm sorry, I'm just going to be honest. We're very honest with each other, but this was one of those, I did just say I don't get embarrassed very easily. I was embarrassed at this time, now that I'm thinking about it. And I said, I'm really sorry, could you pull over? I got to go. And you actually dropped me off in the middle of traffic. There was nowhere to park. I jumped out of your car. I don't even know where you went.
You were a man in need. I wanted to help you.
And you did, and I found a place. And I think I bought something from a store to go to a restaurant. I was going to go to the bathroom. It was hard to find one. I finally went. It was great. I get back in the car. I called you, and you picked me up on the street. And I got in the car, and we started talking about what you just said. Like, you go, hey, I'll stop as many times as you want, but like you should have this checked out. Like this could be this or this, whatever. And then I go, oh my God. And you're like, what? And I go, I just realized something. We left the house and we stopped at this coffee shop and I ordered a red eye, which is called different things in different places. In Alaska, it's called a shot in the dark. It can be called a lead pusher. It can be called a red eye. It can be called a black eye. It is a large coffee with 2 shots of espresso in it. It's the strongest drink at a coffee shop. There's no stronger drink. And I got one. And then what happened was you were going to work or somewhere. And I said, oh, could you drop me off at this bookstore? I'm going to do some work, or this coffee shop. And I went to the coffee shop. I forgot that I had just drank that coffee in the car on the way to the coffee shop. Forgot. Just went into like habit programming mode, and I walked in and I said, could I please have a red eye? I drank, it had to be 800 milligrams of caffeine
More.
In like, yeah, maybe 1,000 in like, because it was 2 shots in a giant cup.
Well, and caffeine is a natural diuretic, so you were at a unfortunate game right there.
And I forgot. I legitimately forgot. And I remember when I told you that, you were like, "Oh, that's what." Like we all
totally made
better.
me feel fine.
I remember you were like, "I'm excited that you're healthy, but you're fucking stupid."
Well, because that also has cardiac comorbidity association. So after I realized that you weren't going to like have diabetes, most likely, and
we went
I
into
worried about your heart.
Yeah. But then
that's the problem with dating a doctor, though. I always think of like a million possibilities. I guess you're kind of lucky, though, because you don't have to worry about him. I'll catch him if it's scary. And you can just be like living happily, and I'll be like, oh, shit, you're going to die.
Yeah. It is funny how many things, like I said to you, this just goes to like, what are things? Maybe we could discuss this on a future episode. I don't know. I always go towards guys my age, but I think it makes sense to talk about it for everybody. But when I asked you, it's just funny that the things we text each other, like it'll be like boyfriend, girlfriend stuff like, oh, I miss you. Oh, hey, I miss you at this tea place we go to. And then you'll be like, you should have the following blood work test done. And it'll be like this gigantic list of like blood work.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a really great thing. I think it's very caring. And I also think I'm your typical guy that doesn't want to get anything done because I am scared. I've had questions to ask you in the last hour that I've not asked you because I don't want to know.
All right. How many times a day do you think you should pee?
Should I?
Why not? You probably want to know that one.
Oh, how many times a day should a guy and say we're taking
I don't know. You just said
I'm
a typical guy and I'm scared to ask questions. You should talk about peeing too much.
Okay.
In 24 hours, how many times do you think is normal?
I think
to pee.
I would say normal is 3 to 5. I think I pee 15 to 20.
Wow, this is a decent spread.
Okay.
7 to 8.
7 to 8. I'm way above that, but I'm also caffeinating quite a bit and hydrating.
Well, you're also hydrating. That's, I think, the key. That study is coming from a massive population of people who probably are underhydrated.
Okay.
So 7 to 8 times.
7 to 8.
Goal is what color of pee? How about that one?
I love that. I was going to say, whoops, I'm so sorry. I almost just knocked over all the waters. I love this question because, back in my...
Notice we both have water on the table, by the way.
We do.
And I already have to pee.
So do I. I've had to pee this whole time. Whenever I do a joke on stage about having to pee, and I've had more than one man come up to me after the show and say, you should do that joke at the end of your set. Because you opened with it and I had to pee the entire time. And so I've started to do that. But you said color of pee, and the reason I like this was I've at certain points in my life taken tons of vitamins. Like when I was a bodybuilder, many, many years before I met you, my pee would be just vibrantly yellow, and it always made me feel really good. And then I remember we used to hydrate a lot, especially on like a contest week, and it would look like water. Mm-hmm. Like I remember just straight up clear. I would guess the more dark it is, the more I got to worry about something.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, it's concentrated. Did you know there's a condition called Coca-Cola urine?
No. What is that?
It looks like Coca-Cola.
And so that's bad.
Very bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get Diet Coca-Cola urine.
No,
So...
Okay. Well, you can have renal insufficiency and other problems. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get into that. Rhabdomyolysis, you can have like blood-colored, like pink urine. But it's not from blood. Well, I mean, it is, but you're not actively bleeding.
Okay.
It can look like blood. Okay, I'm digressing.
You know what I learned from you? Oh, you go first.
You want it to look like apple juice.
Really?
Like very, very pale yellow.
Oh, you're saying that's a great way to think about it. Apple juice. Okay.
Like clear to apple juice.
7-8 times in 24 hours. Apple juiced.
That's in the
colored.
Yeah, 24 hours
pee.
In general. But that's not nighttime frequency either.
You know what
There's
I've noticed
different
about
rules
you?
for nighttime. What?
Oh, there is? Yeah. I'm pretty good at nighttime frequency, honestly.
Yeah, you don't wake me up that much.
If I wake up in the middle of the night, like if something else wakes me up, I will pee, but I will never have to pee will never wake me up. And I have not peed the bed since I quit drinking.
Last year? How old were you?
Years ago.
When you peed the bed, I mean.
Do you know that was my biggest drinking?
No.
We were talking earlier about.
Are you being serious? Wait a minute.
We were talking earlier about drinking, and
I'm gonna be really quiet right now.
I don't drink, and I didn't drink for I didn't drink for 6-7 years, and I drank again for a few months, and then I found out my life was better without it, and so I didn't drink. And the worst thing that ever happened to me, never threw up, never got sick, but the one thing that happened to me, on more than one occasion when it shouldn't have. Like I wasn't like that drunk. Sometimes I'd pee the bed.
What the fuck? I'm not even. What? I just asked you about this yesterday.
Was today?
No, I just asked you yesterday about
It was today.
No, was it today?
It was this morning.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
We were driving. Maybe.
I didn't think
I
this.
asked you the worst stuff that you've done.
I smashed a
with
car.
drinking, and you neglected to tell me that you pissed a bed?
You don't think smashing a car and the airbag went off?
I mean, that's definitely a lot worse.
Yeah.
But what if we were dating and you just like peed all over me? You just skipped it. You skipped that one. I can't even talk. I'm thinking about you soaking me with urine right now.
But I don't drink,
Gross.
and I never peed on anyone.
You're an adult man. Why are you peeing the bed? I never pissed myself when I was drunk.
But you also
Are normal.
Yeah, you're a normal drinker. You're the best drinker I've ever met where you could have a couple of drinks. Just now you were like, should I have a White Claw? I was like, oh my God, if I did that back in the day, we would be deciding to drink today and there would be no more productivity happening. I would have that drink, invite friends over. You could have a White Claw for sure and then work the rest of the night, be a mom, not have another one, maybe have one at night. You're a very moderate drinker. I know a lot of people that sort of have the kind of issue I have with, which is like, I don't
Pee in the bed.
Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of babies.
Great.
So
I'm looking at you so differently now.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that, but it was.
What in the fuck? I want to go back to this. Did you ever have a date over and you peed the bed next to her and you had to
No.
cover it up?
Absolutely not.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, absolutely not.
Or did you wake up and she was gone and you're like, oh, thank God I dodged a bullet.
I'm
But she
actually
didn't
not
dodge
sure.
the bullet. She dodged no pee bullet. It happened and she ran away.
I don't think it ever happened.
You peed on a girl.
I don't think so.
I'm looking at I don't know that you totally did.
Serious question. Would you rather find out?
Way
Would
to
you rather
dodge
find
that.
out right now that I drank too much and peed the bed and peed on a girl and she was upset, or that I'm a very moderate drinker, but a girl asked me to pee on her
And you
and I
did
peed
it?
on a girl? Which would you rather?
Oh, wow. They're both fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I would go
peed
this,
the
I would
bed
go,
one time.
I would go with the second one because you made the choice, and I think it's disgusting. So the
Wait a
second one
second.
sucks. I don't
Oh,
like it.
God, thank you.
But the first one is like really infantile. Like, get your shit together.
I quit drinking, Eric,
Because you didn't want to piss on yourself anymore?
amongst other things.
Well, that seems to be now top of the list.
So, other than that, I don't get up in the middle of the night. And why are you looking at me like you're looking at me like you want me to turn off the thing?
I have white
thing and still-
sheets. Why do you think I'm looking
I don't
at you
drink
like
anymore.
that?
It was a couple of times.
I have drank way more than I needed to, and I've never peed myself.
Oh, so not all joking aside, this is why I brought this up. I don't feel like I drank enough to be a person that peed on. That's why I always thought I had a peeing issue. I've had frequent urination for years and years and years, and I always thought that's what made me worry about having cancer or something, was because that happened to me and it didn't make sense to me. I could see if you were like blacked out drunk and you wake up and you're like, oh, for me it wasn't like that the couple times it happened. I was like, damn, like I always thought something was wrong. So I never got my prostate checked for I did once on the radio. Is that the thumb thing?
No.
What?
I don't know what they did to you on the radio.
They put a thumb in your butt.
Oh, they lied to you.
That's the prostate exam.
I don't put a thumb in anyone's ass.
What are you talking about? Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Do other people? There's a prostate exam that we did on the radio where they
I'm
would feel
pretty
your
sure-
prostate.
Yeah.
A
yeah.
finger?
You,
Was it just not the thumb?
was it a doctor who stuck their
It was
thumb up your
I swear to
ass?
God, it was a doctor on the radio, and they said,
Did they use a glove?
yes.
Did they have a medical degree?
You know what's weird? There were no microphones. I'm not sure we were
No
on the
cameras
radio.
either, right?
Yeah.
Dark.
Wait, are you joking with me right now or
No,
messing
I don't
with
use
me?
a thumb. I use one or two fingers. My
I
index and
thought
my
you
middle
were.
finger.
I thought you were saying the whole thing was bananas. That anybody even put a finger
Well,
anywhere.
actually,
You're
it
just saying
kind
which
of is.
what the
And a prostate exam in general is now archaic, and we don't recommend that methodology. We're
don't
finding
know.
that people are overdiagnosed with problems just because subjectively the doctor thinks it's enlarged.
Oh.
And then they'll have an image test or even a biopsy and find out there's nothing wrong. So unless you have symptoms or a very strong personal or family history, we don't recommend doing a prostate exam. I know your eyes are glazed over because you're still thinking someone stuck their thumb up your ass.
No.
I'm still thinking, why did someone stick their thumb up your ass?
Let me tell you something. We've been dating for a while, but there is one fault of mine I've never
I'll
told you
never
about.
stick my thumb up your ass.
You know what You know what I've never told you? That's a fault of mine.
Oh my God. There were 2 thumbs?
No, one of my faults is when someone puts a digit in my ass, I'm unable to identify it. So I didn't even turn around.
Wonderful.
It could have been a finger. I swear, I don't know why I said thumb. I was just thinking, I wasn't back there.
Your flexibility makes
And we
sense
did it
now.
to raise awareness that some guys like that shit.
No.
For prostate cancer.
No. I think the case in point for anyone who actually wants medical advice today and not just to think about your stories is if you have symptoms, see your doctor. Mm-hmm. If you're asymptomatic and you don't have a strong history, you don't need a finger up your butt anymore.
Oh.
How cool is that?
Very cool.
Now,
but what if I'm afraid to ask, Erika? Are you saying it's not that big a deal if we catch it?
No. If you're afraid to ask, that's the problem. You have to catch it early. And that's what I want this message to be conveyed as, is you have to ask right away. Because if you wait, shit can spread. And that's when you get into trouble.
And if you don't wait, it could not be a big deal at all.
Correct.
Right?
But we also have to get over the embarrassing factor. We haven't talked about that. People are really embarrassed. But I talk about this stuff all the time. We talked about my friend who sees buttholes all the time. It doesn't bother him.
You mean embarrassed about having your
They're embarrassed to come in
checked.
and say, hey, I'm having a problem with erectile dysfunction, or I'm having a problem with frequent urination, or I feel something swollen or painful down there. Mm-hmm. They don't want to ask because they think it's so sensitive. But what they neglect to consider is, 1, doctors do it all the time.
True.
2, we're professional. We're not going to be making fun of you. Our job is to help you, not tease you or hurt you. And 3, if you
weird
wait,
that you do that for others.
Well, just for you.
Sorry, what was 3? I keep
If you wait, it would
you.
spread, and the potential for more harm is a lot higher, exponentially higher, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Isn't it weird that we know that? Like, you just said you wouldn't even let me call the podcast Doctor and the Dumbass because you think I'm kind of a smart guy. We know this shit, but why are we afraid? Right? Like, but I think what you said was important, which is it could be nothing, and then hell yeah, or it could be something, and they could go, hey, we need to do like a biopsy. Hey, that's nothing. You're on your way, and then you get this peace of mind, and you did it, but you just got to get in there and show them your butthole. I think that's a message.
I think denial. I don't think I can give you specific examples, but denial is very powerful, and a lot of people prefer to be in denial and say that they're fine when they know that there's something going on.
Want to hear something crazy?
What?
Get in there and show me your butthole. It's a podcast hosted by these 2 guys.
I just was talking about something serious.
So
God,
everything's taken. All the good
don't
ideas
date a
are
comedian. I'll just tell you that much.
taken. All the good ideas
Don't
are
do it.
taken.
I'm going to give you advice right now, Jamie. Don't go out and find yourself a comedian. They're ridiculous. They'll cut you off at any serious moment and say some shit about a butthole.
It's very hard not to, but sometimes you have really great advice, but every once in a while I can't. It's like a default.
Is that really what you were just looking up?
I'm not looking up anything.
You just made that up then?
What?
You just said that there was a podcast about a butthole.
Oh, no, I was just saying because
Oh, you lied.
I was just joking that all the podcast names have already been taken.
Ah, I thought you actually were using your laptop.
You did? You thought there was actually...
I did. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's amazing.
I mean, somebody would listen.
Every podcast name is taken.
Well,
it is makeup. Okay, we've got a podcast.
Make a good podcast with education and entertainment, and then you're set.
And we're trying, and this name has not been taken. And so this is Afraid to Ask with Jamie Lisson and Dr. Erika. And as we move forward, we will take questions, and you can hit us up on the socials. It's at Afraid to Ask Podcast on Instagram, and we'll get some live questions, and we'll hit Dr. Erika up with some questions, and I will try not to interrupt when important things are being said.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm
Hold
serious.
on a second.
No, I have to pee.
This is so great because I just want to make sure I recorded that. Yes, let's pee, but I want to make sure I have on.
That I have to pee?
Well, I think it's funny that you asked me to pee. You know what I love about you?
Well, I care about you, and I wanted to give you a break so that you could urinate, micturate, pee, whatever you want to piss, relieve yourself.
Do you want to hear something cute you do to me sometimes? I don't even know if you know.
What?
You do this all the time. Yesterday we were leaving the house, and you said, "Do you need to use the bathroom?" To me. Which was very cute. I'm not mad at it. I said that to my children, and so I thought it was kind of cute that you go, "Hey, do you need to use the bathroom before we leave? It's a long drive."
Well,
that's how much I pee. That you treat me like.
Next time I'll pack snacks for the car for you too.
Yeah, this is even before you knew that I pissed the bed.
Oh, now I can't even look at you. That's a different story.
Can I ask you a question that you might not know the answer to because there might not be an answer?
Oh, great. Yeah. Lay it on me. What
You
got?
said that sometimes a doctor can be tired or wide awake, or depending on their schedule. I know people say like, "Oh, buy a car on a Friday because they're trying to get new inventory." I don't know. They say these things. Is there a certain day I would want to go? If I had a big surgery, I'd want to go see the doctor.
Monday morning.
Oh, is that right? I did not expect an answer like that.
I don't have to hesitate.
Monday morning.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't ever see a doctor on a Friday afternoon.
Okay. Do you know what I'm going to say? Hold on. Can I tell you something?
What?
Would you like to know when my colonoscopy is scheduled? It's a Thursday afternoon.
That's fine. It's not Friday.
It's
fine. Thursdays are fine. No,
Friday.
no, because you have to mentally prepare for your Friday patients.
What if he's got a big weekend planned?
It doesn't matter.
What if he's going away for a 3-day weekend?
Then you're fucked.
Coming up on the next episode of Afraid to Ask. You're very open. I do love this about you. You're very open. You're very honest. You're very blunt. And we're about to sit down and do the podcast. We're going to discuss the questions. And you go, oh, you're wearing like kind of a funny T-shirt, a Christmas T-shirt. And you go, I'm going to change for the podcast. I go, okay, cool. And then you took your shirt off, and there were boobs. And I said, as a joke, I go, oh, hey, how many cameras should I put over there? Like as if we were about to film ourselves in bed.
Yeah.
Stupid joke, just trying to be funny. And then you go, oh wow, I've done that. Have you ever done that? And then you put your shirt on, and then you came back expecting us to just now do the podcast.
Well, I mean,
but for me, I don't know if like sometimes you say something like that, and then you move on with life, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we can podcast today.
Well, it wasn't like a porn. Oh, I mean, I guess it was.